All right, class, let's get started. Have you ever been to a ski resort in the middle of summer and wondered, how on earth do they keep the lights on? Or maybe a beach hotel in the dead of winter? Well, it's not magic. It's actually a really powerful set of microeconomic principles, and today, we're going to take them apart piece by piece.
So, let's put you in the hot seat. Imagine you are the general manager of a beautiful beach resort. In July, you're completely sold out. You've got a waiting list, people are begging for rooms, money is flowing. But then, October rolls around. The place is a ghost town. Now, this isn't a sign you failed. This is just the reality of a seasonal business. So the real question, the one that defines your career, isn't how you stop the seasons from changing. It's how do you build an organization, a team, that can ride these insane waves and actually come out stronger.
So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to really look at this demand roller coaster. What does it actually feel like? Then, we'll get into the anatomy of the workforce, a really clever way to structure your team. After that, we'll hit the core economic principle that makes it all work, fixed versus variable costs. But, there's a human side to this, the retention dilemma, which we absolutely have to talk about. And finally, we'll put it all together in the Smart Manager's Playbook, your guide to winning this game.
You wouldn't try to sail a ship in a storm without a weather map, right? It's the exact same idea here. Before you can make a single intelligent decision about who to hire or what to spend, you have to get a handle on the pulse of your business. And I'm not talking about a gut feeling. I'm talking about hard data. Now, look at this timeline. What's so critical to understand is that this isn't just random chaos. It's a pattern. It's predictable. Think about a theme park. During the off-season, they might have a core team, right? But then June hits, schools are out, and demand skyrockets. Then you have a holiday weekend, and that's your absolute peak. And just as quickly, it all crashes back down. Your job as a manager is to know every single one of these points on the calendar and plan for them. Let's zero in on this peak moment, because this is where everything is tested. Pushed to the limit? That's not just a saying. It means every person, every system, every single process is running at 110%. And when you see mandatory overtime, well, that's the manager's panic button. It's incredibly expensive, it just destroys team morale, and honestly, it's a huge red flag that your staffing plan wasn't ready for the peak you knew was coming.
And this number says it all, 100%. The finance department, they love this number. It means maximum revenue. But for the operations manager, this is terrifying. It's like walking a tightrope with no safety net. There is zero margin for error. I've seen it happen. One key person calls in sick during a 100% occupancy weekend, and the whole house of cards comes down. You get angry guests, terrible online reviews, a cascade of failure that can hurt you for months. This is the ultimate stress test for your entire operation.
So, when you're facing that kind of volatility, how in the world do you build a team? I mean, you can't possibly keep your peak season staff on the payroll all year. If you need 100 people in July but only 20 in October, keeping all 100 on board is, and I'm not exaggerating here, financial suicide. The answer is to get smart, to engineer a more flexible, multi-layered workforce. This table right here, this is your blueprint for survival. Let's make it real. Think about a major shipping company during the holidays. They have their core, full-time staff who work year-round. That's your fixed cost. But come November, they hire thousands of seasonal workers to handle the surge. Those are your casuals, your variable cost. And then, they even outsource some deliveries to local gig workers. That's shifting the cost and the risk entirely to someone else. It's a brilliant three-tiered defense against unpredictability.
Okay, I want you to think about your business like it's a car. Your fixed costs are your car payment and your insurance. You have to pay them every single month, even if the car just sits in the driveway. Your variable costs? That's your gas. You only pay for it when you're actually going somewhere. This distinction, this is one of the absolute pillars of microeconomics. You have to master this. Let's start with fixed costs. This is your foundation. It's the rent, it's your key manager salaries, the basic utilities. You're paying these no matter what, whether you have one customer or 1,000. And here's the crucial takeaway for a manager. The higher your fixed costs, the more fragile your business is. When a downturn hits, those fixed costs can sink you. The goal is always to keep this number as lean as you can without, gutting the whole operation.
And on the other side, you have variable costs. And let me tell you, this is your managerial superpower. These are the costs you only have when you're making money. The classic example is a restaurant. They're not going to pay for a full staff of waiters to stand around on a dead Tuesday afternoon, right? They bring in extra help on Friday and Saturday nights when the place is packed. This lets you match your expenses to your income almost perfectly. It's beautiful. So what it really comes down to is this constant balancing act.
Your core staff, that fixed cost, that's a long-term investment in the stability, the culture, the very soul of your company. Your casual workers, that variable cost, that's a short-term tactical tool you use to stay flexible. A great manager doesn't think one is good and the other is bad. They're both just tools. The art is in knowing how to blend them together to build a truly resilient business. But there's a catch to this perfectly elegant economic model, and you won't find it on any spreadsheet. It's a human problem, and it creates a huge strategic headache. The uncertainty of seasonal work creates incredible stress for these employees. I mean, how can you plan your life, pay your bills, if you have no idea what your income will be next month? And that stress, it has a real business cost. It affects morale, it affects performance, and ultimately, it affects whether people stick around.
And this is the million-dollar question. The cold, hard numbers on the spreadsheet say, yes, of course! Revenue just fell off a cliff, so you cut the variable labor cost to zero. Let everyone go. But the second you do that, you've just injected a massive amount of risk into your next peak season. Some studies show that the cost to replace a good employee, when you factor in recruiting, hiring, training, can be up to twice their annual salary. So you save a little now, but you could end up paying a much, much higher price down the road.
This is the heart of the dilemma right here. Your best casual workers, the ones who are reliable, who know your systems, who your customers love, they're not going to just sit at home waiting for you to call in 3 months. They have to make a living. They're rational people. And if your competitor down the street offers them a more stable gig, they're going to take it. And then what happens? You don't just lose a great worker, you've actively made your competition stronger. That's a double loss.
Okay, so this brings us to the really sophisticated part of this whole discussion. How does a truly smart manager solve this problem? Well, they stop thinking about casual labor as just a disposable line item on a budget. They start treating it like a strategic asset. You have to invest in it.
So here's how you do it. First, you don't just have a list of names, you curate a pool of your A players. You treat them like a VIP club. Second, you invest in them, even in the off-season. Offer a free training course, maybe help them get a new certification, show them you care about their development. And third, you can even use small financial retainers. Think about it, a small bonus each month just for them to stay available in your pool. It's a tiny fixed cost that secures a hugely valuable asset for your next peak.
And this quote just nails it. You're not just buying their time anymore. You're cultivating a relationship. You're building loyalty. A company that's famous for service, they can't deliver that amazing experience if they have a brand new, untrained staff every 6 months. This pool of reliable, experienced people becomes a massive competitive advantage. It's something your competitors who are just hiring and firing can't copy. It guarantees you're ready to go when the next busy season hits.
So, we've gone through and built this really powerful model for surviving in a seasonal business. It's smart, it's flexible, it's financially sound. But I want to leave you with one final question to chew on. We've spent this whole time optimizing the system for the health of the business. But what about the other side of that equation? What's the cost to the workers in this model? And as future managers and leaders, what's our ethical responsibility to the very people who make our success possible? Something to think about.